Winter and summer driving can be rough on any car, and one good way to help your new Pontiac survive the effects of winter's cold and summer's heat is to do a bit of preventive maintenance, specifically to check in with your dealer, say in April or May, and in October or November. Have the service technicians check your coolant mixture for proper strength and freshness, and take a look at the hoses and hose connections.
Things you can do yourself include spraying some silicone lubricant on a clean cloth and then applying a thin film around the weather stripping and the doors and hatch, too. Also, give the heater defroster a check before winter sets in. And in the springtime, try the air conditioner in case it needs service. Do that, and you're set for any weather, hot or cold.
Your Pontiac service department is ready to handle any problem you may have with your car. But if you're on the road and your Pontiac becomes disabled, you can still turn to Pontiac for help. Pontiac Roadside Assistance is a new and innovative service that takes the anxiety out of uncertain situations by providing easy access to service professionals who are technically trained to work with Pontiac owners over the telephone. Here's how it works. The service covers your new Pontiac regardless of who is driving for a period concurrent with your warranty. That is 3 years or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first. After you call 1-800-ROADSIDE, the advisor will assess the situation by asking some basic questions to determine if they can recommend minor repairs for you to make on the spot. If the situation is more serious, the advisor can arrange for towing to the nearest Pontiac dealer and help you make reservations for lodging, rental cars, or travel arrangements. They can also dispatch a taxi to your location. Towing providers will be dispatched through Pontiac's nationwide network of 3,000 dealers and will usually arrive in about 30 minutes. Pontiac Roadside Assistance will identify licensed towing operators with secure storage areas for the protection of your automobile. Calls to the Pontiac Roadside Assistance Center are free, as is the time spent on the phone with the roadside advisor. This service is available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year in all 50 states. Charges for towing and repairs are your responsibility, though you may be eligible for coverage on some items through your bumper-to-bumper new vehicle warranty. See your warranty booklet for details. You may also be eligible for reimbursement through any service contracts or insurance you may have purchased for your Pontiac. We are proud to offer Pontiac Roadside Assistance as an added value to Pontiac owners. It gives you the peace of mind to know that you can get help whenever and wherever you need it. And it restates our continuing drive for service leadership in the automotive industry. Up to now, we've talked about what you can do to help your car go efficiently. Now we're going to do something different. Talk about how to maintain your car so that it will stop safely and quickly. As you follow your regular maintenance schedule, your dealer's service technicians will regularly check the brake system each time they change your engine oil.
Right, but there are a few things for you to keep in mind and do to keep the brakes responsive and working properly. All our Pontiacs feature highly engineered GM braking systems, including some with four-wheel disc brakes.
And a few models with standard anti-locking brake systems that prevent wheel lockup in hard braking situations. Brake pads are an example of what automotive engineers call wear items. That is, they wear as they do their job. In this case, stopping the car. Pontiac disc brake pads are designed to tell you loud and clear when they need replacing. They have a built-in wear indicator that makes a high-pitched squealing or cricket-like sound when new pads are needed. At some point, you'll hear it, and when you do, take the car in and have the brakes inspected.
Occasional intermittent brake squeak is perfectly normal as long as the car is stopping properly. The squeak is caused by things like a buildup or glaze on the pads, which the dealer can remove when the car comes in for a scheduled checkup. Of course, if your brakes ever begin to operate erratically, pulling to one side in dry weather or engaging unevenly, for instance, you should have them serviced right away at your Pontiac dealers. We probably don't have to convince you that having the right tires on your Pontiac is essential to both top performance and maximum safety. Your new Pontiac was delivered equipped with the premium tires matched to its particular handling package. The tires we install on our cars at the factory are chosen for their quality and suitability for each car model.
Some Firebirds, for example, have directional tires. This arrow, molded into the tire sidewall here, has to point toward forward tire rotation.
Let's take a moment now to check over some of the useful information built right into the tires themselves. Things like the brand name, of course, and the size, load range, construction, whether it's a steel-belted radial, for example, and the TPC spec number, the Tire Performance Criteria Specification number. It's right here. And it basically assures a combination of factors that add up to the right tire for your car. Factors such as tread wear, endurance, handling, load capacity, ride, traction on dry, wet, or snow-covered surfaces. The TPC spec number comes in very handy when you go to replace the tires. Match the TPC spec number on the new tire to the old one, and your new tires will be compatible with your particular Pontiac.
Now let's talk about tire rotation for a minute. All you really have to know about tire rotation is that your dealer can do it for you at the proper interval based on your driving habits and conditions. The dealer will use the right rotation pattern for your particular car. The point is, you shouldn't try to do it yourself. Let your dealer's service department handle it on your regular scheduled maintenance visit.
Now a final word about tire pressure, or proper inflation. One key to getting the most from your tires is keeping them inflated to the proper tire pressure. The tire placard located on the driver's door or door lock pillar of your car, there it is, shows the recommended tire pressure for your particular model. Make it a habit to regularly check your tires when you're at the service station. And check the owner's manual for proper pressure rating adjustments when the tire's hot or cold. You can't always tell by eye if a tire's overinflated, so you really have to check it with a gauge. And don't forget to check and maintain pressure in the compact spare.
Which, by the way, is a spare tire, not a replacement tire, for use in case you get a flat on one of your regular tires. A compact spare takes up less space, is lighter and easier to handle than a full-size tire, and it's easier and safer to change by hand. But it's not an extra tire. If you have a flat and have to mount the compact, get to a service station as soon as you can and have the full-size tire fixed or replaced. The compact spare is perfectly safe for emergency use, but it's not designed for long-term use in a place of a regular-sized tire. There was a time when thousands of backyard mechanics across the country took pride in doing most of their own auto maintenance and repairs. But that was in the days before electronic ignition and fuel injection, before computer-aided diagnosis and complicated emission control devices. These days, it takes a specially trained technician and a lot of sophisticated, expensive instruments to properly maintain and repair today's automobiles. In addition, warranties like the ones covering your Pontiac can be voided by improper or unauthorized repairs.
So leave the maintenance of your car to the technicians in your dealer's service department. They've got the training and equipment to do the job right. But if the bulb in the dome light burns out or a fuse goes bad, sure, you can replace those. In fact, we'll go over fuse replacement in detail later in the program.
Modern fuel-efficient engines, like the one in your Pontiac, can generate tremendous temperatures under the hood. And just as your engine depends on oil to reduce friction, it depends on the cooling system to reduce heat. Your cooling system could overheat if the coolant level is too low, or if there's a sudden loss of coolant fluid, which could happen if a hose splits, for instance. If you ever get an indication that your car might be running hot, stop and park the car as soon as it's safe to do so. Turn off the engine, get out of the car, and call your dealer's service department for advice.
Of course, the first step in preventing serious overheating is to regularly check your coolant fluid level and replenish it if it's low. Check it when you know the car is cold. We'll show you how to do that in detail in a few minutes. And when you're checking under the hood, it's also a good idea to inspect your hoses and hose connections and have them looked at if anything appears worn or loose.
Most overheating occurs because of severe driving conditions. For example, when you're climbing a long hill on a very hot day, idling for long periods in traffic, or towing a trailer. So there you are, stuck in traffic, and it's 90 degrees in the shade. The temperature gauge not only starts creeping toward the red, it actually seems to grow before your eyes. Here's what to do. First, turn your air conditioner off. This should help. If the temperature gauge or light doesn't return to normal after a minute or two, do the same thing you would if you saw steam coming from under the hood. Pull over, stop safely, and call for help.
Your new Pontiac was built to deliver peak performance, and your dealer is ready to see that your car keeps running in top form. You can help too by keeping it properly fed, keeping it running on the best quality fuel you can find. Think of good fuel as a good investment for your car's high output engine. Fill up with unleaded detergent gasoline with an octane rating at least as high as what's recommended in your owner's manual. And when you refuel, don't overfill the tank. When the nozzle clicks, give your car a couple of more quick clicks to top off and stop pumping. Overstuffing the tank can actually interfere with the efficiency of your fuel system. If you use the recommended grade and type of gas and give your car regular dealer maintenance, you shouldn't need additional gasoline additives.
Now, what about gasoline with MTBE or alcohol in it? MTBE is methyl tertiary butyl ether. Fuel that is no more than 15% MTBE is all right for your car. Ethanol is ethyl or grain alcohol. Properly blended fuel that is no more than 10% ethanol is all right for your car. Methanol is methyl or wood alcohol. Fuel that is more than 5% methanol is bad for your car, so don't use it. It can corrode metal parts in your fuel system and damage plastics and rubbers. That damage wouldn't be covered under your warranty. And even at 5% or less, there must be co-solvents in this fuel to help avoid these problems. And finally, don't spill fuel containing alcohol on your car. If you do, it can cause costly paint damage that wouldn't be covered by your warranty. Now it's time to take a guided tour under the hood, starting with how and when to check the oil level. The best time to check the oil is when it's warm, after your car's engine has been operating for a while. You can check it during a fuel stop or when you get home from doing weekend errands. Wait a few minutes after you shut off the engine so that the oil can drain back into the oil pan. All Pontiac dipsticks are clearly marked. You'll find the one for engine oil right here in this Bonneville SSE, but on some models it's in other locations. Check the owner's manual for your car's particular location. Remove the oil dipstick, wipe it clean with a rag or paper towel, put the clean dipstick all the way back into the engine and take it out again. The level should be within the safe range shown here. But if the oil level is below the add line, here, add a quart of the type of engine oil recommended in the engine oil section of the owner's manual. And keep in mind that it's normal for an engine to consume a bit of oil, especially engines designed to run at a relatively high operating temperature. But don't ever overfill your engine with oil. Too much oil can cause just as much damage as too little. And finally, don't forget to push the dipstick all the way down when you replace it in the engine. There, that takes care of the engine oil check.